We know that cinema became one of the main medium through which the mythology of Wild West was formed. Let's see this short from Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone, which was in many ways a tribute to the Western in its classical phase. For example, in this shot where we see a train arriving in a small town, a town called Flagstone. Now, train was one of the main iconic elements of the Western. If we recall that the Great Train Robbery, one of the earliest Westerns, if one can say so, featured the train. The train which involved speed, the train which traversed lands, a wide expanse of lands, through a relatively shorter time, become one of the main iconic element in the Western. And here we see a woman arriving and hoping to meet her future family, but incidentally the family had been butchered, killed off by the railroad barons just in the previous sequence.
I saw some mighty fine stock down south. Is that so? And the prices were good.
So in this little sequence of the gathering in the station, we see a mini kind of America. We see all the elements of a settlement, of a civilization just starting itself, a town which is being built, and here is a woman who has just arrived in the town. Now, westerns were very seldom. The westerns were told from the perspective of a woman, and this film is one of those few exceptions in that sense. But nevertheless, like here we see the Indians, and we saw a couple of African American people and all the settlers, so on and so forth, of this small town, the town which is just beginning to grow. And here we find a little America in this entire little railway station. So this sequence starts a main narrative, and here we will see how music in coordination with space and the camera work, we see everything in a beautiful orchestration. Like the music starts with a single instrument which is standing for the woman in despair, the theme of Jill. The woman looks around, finds the entire station empty. Then we will see that the woman will start moving on her own. At this moment, a voice arrives, the voice of a woman, which becomes a main musical strand in the film. This voice stands for the woman, and the woman enters the station, talks to the station master, most probably looks for a carriage or something, and the station master shows her the way. The camera cranes up and a different instrument comes in, a wind instrument, which many a time suggests arrival. And then an orchestral swell, an orchestral score, and the entire space is revealed, where we see a little civilization being born. In this way, we see the entry of a single individual into the history of the West. And this is how often many Westerns would start. Only in here, as an exception, there is this woman, the story of a woman and her journey into the West. It begins. Then we see the little town the town almost like a kind of museum piece of what a Western town stood for. The laundry stores, the Chinese laundry stores, the saloon, the bars, the livery stables, and the carriage, and the new people settling down, mess all around, the sheer excitement of beginning a new civilization. Here we are coming to a shot which actually speaks a lot about the classical Western genre and the affection these spaghetti Western directors they had for this classical genre. Here we see the carriage moving away from a little town called Flagstone, and in a single cut we arrive in Mountain Valley, Utah, where majority of John Ford's westerns were shot. And we see the carriage moving, and in a single pan the iconic Monument Valley and the iconic structures of the rock formations of the Monument Valley is revealed. Here is the place where John Ford shot almost every of his westerns after Stagecoach. And immediately we see Sergio Leone when he is shooting things in Mountain Valley. He is actually setting the valley as a kind of setting for the building of the rail track, because the progress of the railroad till the Pacific Ocean, it meant the end of the previous civilization and the advent of the new civilization, that is the end of the West. And here we see, in a comic mode, there is this binary between the railroad and the horse carriage, which is placed in a bit comical way.